This is the story of my sister, Jessica, someone I've admired my whole life but never fully understood until she taught me one of the most powerful lessons I've ever learned. The courage to live your truth no matter what. Jessica was the golden child of our family. She was everything our parents dreamed of: smart, kind, talented, and hard-working. My dad especially adored her. He never missed a chance to boast to his friends and colleagues about how perfect his children were. She's got straight A's, she's a natural leader, and she's going to make us proud one day, he would say. To the outside world, we were the picture-perfect family. But deep down, Jessica was struggling with something none of us knew about. She was hiding a part of herself, a part she thought would shatter the image our father had of her and disappoint the family she loved so much. Jessica had known for years that she was different. She wasn't like the other girls in her class who giggled about boys or talked about their crushes. Instead, she found herself drawn to girls, but she kept that part of her locked away. Jessica tried to play along with the expectations. She went on dates with boys, smiled politely when our parents joked about her future husband, and avoided any conversations about love or relationships. But I could tell something was off. She wasn't happy. For years, she lived with this secret, and it ate away at her. She started distancing herself from us, staying quiet during family gatherings, and avoiding anything that might put her in the spotlight. One night, I found her sitting alone in her room, staring at an old photo of our family. Her eyes were filled with tears. That's when she opened up to me for the first time. "I can't keep pretending," she said, her voice trembling. "I'm tired of hiding, but I don't know how to tell them. What if they don't understand? What if Dad never looks at me the same way again?" I was shocked, not because of what she told me, but because of how much pain she had been carrying alone. I hugged her tightly and said, "Jessica, you are my sister, and I love you no matter what. Mom and Dad will too. It might take time, but they love you for who you are, not who they think you should be." A few months passed, and Jessica finally reached a breaking point. She realized that living a lie was no longer an option. She wanted to be true to herself, even if it meant facing rejection or judgment. One Sunday evening, during our usual family dinner, Jessica took a deep breath and said, "I have something to tell you all." Our parents looked up, curious but unsuspecting. Jessica took a deep breath and said, "I'm gay. I've known for a long time, but have been scared to tell you because I didn't want to disappoint you." For a moment, the room was silent. Finally, my mom said softly, "Thank you for telling us, Jessica. That must have been hard." But then my dad spoke, his voice calm but firm. "Jessica, I appreciate your honesty, but you have to understand, this is not what we expected. This is not what we wanted for you." Jessica's face fell, but she nodded, trying to stay composed. It wasn't easy. My father, in particular, struggled with the news. The idea of his perfect family had been shaken, and he didn't know how to reconcile it with the love he had for Jessica. After a long and emotional conversation, my parents said they loved Jessica, but there was a catch. "We won't stop loving you," my dad said. "But you can't tell anyone about this. Not your friends, not your co-workers. We have a family image to protect. People wouldn't understand, and it would bring unnecessary judgment on all of us." My mom added, "We're proud of you, Jessica, but this is something that should stay within the family. We don't need to make it public." Jessica sat there stunned. "So you're saying I can't be myself? That I have to keep hiding?" "We're asking you to be discreet," my dad replied, "for the sake of the family." For a few days, Jessica wrestled with their reaction. She appreciated that they hadn't completely rejected her, but the idea of keeping her identity hidden felt like another form of betrayal. One evening, she called a family meeting. Sitting in the living room, she faced our parents and said, "I've thought about what you said. I understand where you're coming from, but I can't live like this. I've spent my whole life hiding, and I refuse to keep doing it. I'm proud of who I am, and I won't apologize for it. If people judge me or our family, that's on them, not me." My dad was visibly upset. "Jessica, you're being selfish. Do you know how hard it is for us to hear this? We're trying to protect you and us from the world's harshness." Jessica shook her head. "No, Dad. What you're trying to do is protect your image. But I can't sacrifice my happiness to maintain a facade. I love you, but I have to live my truth, whether you accept it or not." After that conversation, things were tense in the house. My parents didn't disown Jessica, but their relationship with her was strained. They avoided talking about her sexuality, and family gatherings became awkward. Jessica, however, refused to let their reaction hold her back. She started living openly, sharing her story with her friends, and even dating publicly. She found a supportive community that embraced her for who she was. Months later, something unexpected happened. Jessica's courage began to inspire others in our family. My mom, who had initially been hesitant, started reading stories about LGBTQ+ families and realized how much strength it took for Jessica to come out. She apologized to Jessica one day, saying, "I'm sorry if I made you feel like you couldn't be yourself. I'm trying to understand, and I'm proud of you for being so brave." My dad, on the other hand, took longer to come around. He wasn't hostile, but he struggled to reconcile his expectations with reality. But over time, seeing Jessica happy and confident began to soften him. Today, Jessica is thriving. She's found love, a supportive circle of friends, and, most importantly, peace with herself. My parents still have moments where they struggle, but they've come a long way. They're learning to let go of their fears and embrace Jessica for who she is. Life is too short to live in hiding. My sister's journey taught me, and all of us, that love isn't about control or conditions. It's about acceptance. It's about letting people be who they truly are and supporting them, even if it's hard to understand at first. Being true to yourself, no matter how hard it may seem, is one of the bravest things a person can do. It's not always easy to face judgment or fear, especially from the people you love the most, but nothing compares to the freedom of living authentically. To anyone out there struggling with being themselves, remember this: your truth is valid, your identity matters, and you deserve to be loved for who you are. It might not be easy, but living authentically is the most powerful thing you can do. Just like Jessica, you have the courage to be you.